Exclusive, Singapore, Vietnam firms in talks for new undersea cables, sources say Hanoi. Dec 13 Reuters, a Singaporean asset manager Keppel KPLM. C. opens new tab and Vietnamese conglomerate Savico Group are discussing plans for new undersea fiber optic cables that would boost the region's data center industry. People familiar with the discussion said. Southeast Asian countries, a major junction for cables connecting Asia to Europe, are seeking to expand their networks to meet booming demand for AI services and data centers. Vietnam alone plans to have 10 new submarine cables by 2030. Undersea cables are at the center of the Sino-American tech war, with the two powers vying to win contracts, especially in Asia, to build and maintain the strategic infrastructure that carries most internet data, including sensitive information. Under one plan under discussion, a cable would be laid to link Vietnam directly with Singapore. 5 people directly involved or briefed on the matter said. It would cost $150 million, according to one source with direct knowledge of the talks. This option is favored by Savico, but talks with Keppel on the direct cable are in flux, and no agreement has been reached yet, to sources with direct knowledge said. They added that Keppel prefers a more ambitious cable plan involving a consortium of investors. Under that second plan, the connection to Vietnam developed by Savico would be an offshoot of a longer cable, 3 people said, with one noting it would run from Singapore to Japan with links to countries along the route. The sources declined to be named because the information was not public. Savico, a conglomerate whose operations include aviation and banking, has recently announced plans on data center development. It did not respond to requests for comment. Keppel agreed in November to buy an AI-ready data center facility in Japan. Singapore is a major hub for data centers and undersea cables, but the small island state has nearly saturated its data usage capacity. A spokesperson for Keppel declined to answer Reuters' questions about the cable plans, saying, "We do not comment on market speculation." A Savico executive mentioned the company's cable plans with Keppel late last month in an internal meeting with Vietnam's Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh and other companies involved in the digital economy. One of the meeting participants told Reuters. Vietnam's government office and the Foreign Affairs Ministry did not reply to requests for comment. U.S.-China competition under the preliminary plans. No decision had been made about who would build either of the cables. But to people familiar with the talks said Chinese contractors would not be involved in the possible direct link between Vietnam and Singapore. Savico was briefed by U.S. officials about alleged risks linked to choosing Chinese contractors for the cables, to people with direct knowledge of the talks told Reuters. U.S. officials and consultants have organized multiple briefings with Vietnamese and Singaporean officials in recent months to discourage them from using HMN technologies. Part of a global campaign to contain the rise of the Chinese contractor, Reuters exclusively reported in September. The 2 projects are separate from possible investments previously announced by Vietnamese companies in for new undersea cables, of which 2 would be built by Japan's NEC, and 1 by China's HMN Tech to connect Vietnam to existing international cables, according to public information. The 4th was announced in April by Vietnam's state-owned telecom firm Viettel and Singapore's Singtel, and would link Vietnam directly to Singapore under a preliminary plan. No building contract has been announced. Vietnam, with a population of nearly 100 million, is a large market for online platforms, but is currently connected to the global internet infrastructure through only 5 undersea branches to international cables. Its plans to triple the number of its cables are seen by industry experts as a possible boost to its chances of becoming an alternative regional data center hub, despite power supply issues and strict data regulations.